State my name. My name is Mark Clements. Clements. I am a person that lived at 5218 George Street in Skokie, Illinois. Almost immediately upon moving at that location, I began to have problems, and those problems arose from the fact that uh, Ilana Yahweh, Ilana, I can't pronounce okay, it's Yavne. Well, back in December of 2009, approximately right after Christmas, I had been living at that location for much as I would like to say a month, when I was at the computer and I looked around and I seen Dana, when I seen Dana, and her last name is also Yavne. Or no, it's Yavne. Yes. She was 15 years old, and a man came into the household with them, and his name, I learned, was Mickey Johnson. Mickey Johnson was a African American male, light skin, caramel complexion. And Dana told me, as well as Ilana, that this is Mickey, a man that Dana had claimed that had raped her when she was either 13 or 14 years of age. I remember being in their car, which was a Toyota. It was kind of like silver. They traded it in for a new car just this year. Well, and you know, this is hard. She told me that this guy would always be stalking her, and as a result of stalking her, I played like I was her father, and I called him and said, "Stop stalking my daughter," on his voicemail. Well, I finally got a chance to meet him on this day, and over the course of time, this man was actually sleeping in the bed with this child. And I brought to Ilana's attention that I had witnessed Mickey Johnson and the child inside of a bathroom on a different occasion. It wasn't December the 26th, but on a different occasion. And he was having sex with her. I told this to Ilana. Yes. And in having sex, that changed my approach. And I remember being on a porch right outside, adjacent to the house. And today I call it my office, but, you know, under the circumstances, you know. And he told me that Ilana liked him, that if I was not really interested in Ilana, that he was, and that he wanted to continue his relationship with Dana and the mother. I brought this to Ilana's attention, and I began to ask Ilana to please, to please keep this man away from her child and keep him out the house. She did for about 3 days. And he came back. And this time it was like he was living there. You know, it was not uncommon for me to go up the stairs and to see them laying in the bed together, and you know, just they are constantly argued because Dana was a kid and this guy was a grown man who was manipulating a kid. I brought this to the attention of my uncle, who is Mark Davis, 6th District of Chicago Police Department. I even spoke with, on a Saturday morning, Jesse Lewis Jackson about how to deal with these situations in society, because I had not been in society for 28 years of my life. And not being able to know and how to deal with this situation. I kept bringing it to Ilana. One day I was talking to my uncle, and he told me that he had some friends at the Skokie Police Department, and that they would look into it. He furthermore told me that, you know, Ilana was basically a woman without morals. And I said to myself, what did I get myself into? That's what I said. Ilana couldn't seem to understand that a person having sexual intercourse who was 31 years old with her daughter was not correct. I started to contact you guys over at the state's attorney's office at that time. I talked with Ted Pearson, who was right here at Alliance. I talked to my boss, Marlene Martin, and one day, Ilana calls me while I was at work. My job then was located on East 53rd Street, right off Blackstone. And Ilana told me that she had been beat up, badly assaulted by her daughter. I was talking to my uncle. My uncle immediately grabbed the walkie-talkie and called police. He said that officer down, need assistance at 5218 George in Skokie. They arrived there and Dana was taken into custody. I don't know if Ilana ever went to the hospital. I can't recall, but I do know that they did take Dana down to the police station. As a result, I was able to convince Ilana to ban Mickey Johnson out of the house. My uncle therefore followed up on the case to make sure that Mickey Johnson was apprehended and taken into custody, where today he wears an ankle bracelet and considered as a sex offender, rightfully so. The point of the matter being that Ilana invited this man into her house. All I wanted was a family. That's all I wanted was a family. How can I be a man and I'm watching a child be sexually abused? This stuff went on and on and on, and constantly I'm bringing it to Ilana's attention. The emails that you recovered off of my email account, it shows that I warned Ilana time and 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 time again. What could I do? I clearly realize that I'm facing charges as well through this deposition that could potentially place me back in prison. But rightfully so, I believe that I'm doing the right thing. I didn't mean for any of this stuff to occur. The photos that were showed to me two of the men I was able to identify. One is a sex offender, and his name is not Mickey Johnson. But this young man was allowed to sleep in the household. Ilana did totally nothing to get him out. I constantly asked her, I said, Ilana, please stop this. The daughter would steal my things. She threw a cup at me.